Hello, dear beloveds. Oh, I'm very rosy cheeked right now. I think I was just hanging out with my postgrads and they always get me like hot under the collar in the best possible way. And I seem to have gone very rosy. It is so lovely to be hanging out with you. It has been some time. I have been very busy launching some incredible things into the world and really seeing a really big evolution in what we do here at the Institute, but in a way that feels really congruent, really exciting. We're getting our very first group of intuitive intelligence teacher trainers organized, and as part of that, that training is now going to be both in Melbourne and in Ireland, which is incredibly exciting and very unexpected. The Institute is going to Ireland to offer the Initiate program in a 2-day workshop format, which is how it used to be taught. Now it's a 12-week online program. Very soon it's going to be offered in every which way because our teacher trainers can take it and put it in whatever form they like, which is so exciting. And I'm so excited to see what they'll do. But before they take over the reins, I will be doing a last hurrah in Ireland in 2 locations, Ballina and Limerick. So if you do know people who would like to get on board with the intuitive intelligence movement, please share the details. I'll share the link here with you. But I wanted to join you today to talk about the uncompromising path of intuitive intelligence and how it differs from our very kind of, I guess, the superficial spiritual culture around the ideas of intuition. Now, if you go to a regular intuition workshop, there's a good chance that there's going to be oracle cards and people are going to be, talking about things that are what I consider to be unnecessary. I sometimes refer to them as trinkets and superstitions. And what I mean by that is whenever we place our intuition outside of us, even as a kind of, just as a bridge to build our intuition towards, like cards or crystals or anything else, a pendulum, for example, and we decide that that object, that external object, has somehow got more power in it or a way to access that intuitive power than we do, then we are engaging in compromise. We're engaging in the idea that this external reality is even real. Now, I know we've gone deep down the rabbit hole very quickly, but let me take a whoop, whoop, whoop and explain what I mean. That was a beep, 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 back the truck up. Okay, the way that I teach intuition is 100% radically different to what you'll find anywhere else in the world. And it is built on the understanding, the uncompromising truth of what we are, our true nature, which is pure consciousness, pure energy, pure vibration, and not solid matter. So if intuition is the language of the infinite, which it is, and we're learning how to open ourselves to the language of the infinite, that language is going to express itself through what we are, which is pure consciousness, pure vibration, pure energy. It isn't going to express itself through solid matter, which is the illusory part of us. This looks solid, it isn't solid, it's just vibrating at a rate that's different to the subtle anatomy of my body, which is vibrating more quickly and therefore not visible to my human eyes. My job to train intuition in you is to help unwed you from your addiction to your external senses, i.e. your sight, your hearing, and all of those sorts of things, as a way to gauge your relationship to your intuition. If I then take you into an intuition workshop and I give you all of these external trinkets and superstitions, and I give you all of these things that are outside of you, how am I helping you recognize your true nature and the true nature of intuition? Well, the answer is I'm not. I'm simply embedding you further in the dream rather than emancipating you from it. So my brand of intuition really can't even be called intuition because it is so radically different. And that's why I call it intuitive intelligence. Intuitive intelligence is where we go from just having an innate sixth sense, which we all do, by the way. There's nothing special about that. It is not a gift. If you refer to your intuition as a gift, I will come to your house and smack you around. Not really, but that is how I feel about it. Intuition is an innate skill inside each and every one of us. However, most of us are not taught how to access it. So we think of it as a special, privileged and magical thing that some people have and we don't have. And if we are going to get to it, then we're probably going to need some of these tools, some of these external trinkets and superstitions. But it's all rubbish. All we need to do is remove the blocks between us and that infinite consciousness. That is what intuition is bridging us to. So in other words, intuition is the language that connects us to the one mind, what I call God, what you might call the field, the divine matrix, whatever you want to call it. The only thing that stops you having that sacred communion with every breath is the blocks between you and it. And what are those blocks? Those blocks are fear. So the only way to increase intuition is to meet your subconscious fear. It is not to play with oracle cards. It is not to play with pendulums. It is not to put your power outside of you in any way. It is to remove the blocks to you knowing your power and your truth. So I do get quite ranty about this because I feel like we cause a lot of harm by believing that there is someone outside of us who has the answers that we don't, by believing that objects hold power that they don't, because they don't even really exist. They're vibration. They are not solid. They are simply a form of consciousness that we have projected into reality. We don't have time to go down that rabbit hole today, so we're going to keep bringing it back to intuition. What I want to, I guess, differentiate is the way that I train you to meet your intuition and to master it. Intuitive intelligence can be defined as that innate intuition combined with spiritual fierceness. So in order to build the muscle of your intuition, you have to be willing to build your spiritual fierceness. You have to show up radically committed to meeting yourself as infinite, unlimited consciousness. All conversations about intuition should begin with the question of, do I know that I am pure, unlimited consciousness? If your intuition training isn't starting at that place, then we have a really big problem, because you're probably just being given a whole bunch of trinkets and superstitions that are actually keeping you playing small. And then it's like, oh, I really want to ask a question of my intuition. Okay, that is the most redundant statement in the whole world. There is never a need to ask a question of your intuition, because intuition is the innate language between you and the one mind, and that communion is always happening. You never need to stop and pause and be like, okay, now I'm going to get in connection with my intuition so I can ask a question about whether I should marry that boy or whether the car park is over there. All right? This is a redundant setup, and it's probably how you and most of the planet are taught to access their intuition. It puts a separation between us and our intuitive wisdom, which is innate within us, which is us because we are one with the one mind, the first Hermetic law. We need to overcome this faulty thinking by reclaiming our power, and we do that by meeting our subconscious fear that we are infinite power. So this is not a small thing, and it's also not a difficult thing. Spiritual fierceness, innate intuition equals intuitive intelligence. Why it's not a small thing is because what happens when you meet your intuition in this way is that you start to recognize and then have to admit how powerful you are. And most of us are actually terrified of our power, because then we have to take on responsibility. Everything that is occurring is in accordance with my highest good, and everything that is occurring is part of my medicine for what I've come into this reality to discover. So if we are at war with that truth and we want to sit in our victim or our shadow or our child or our prostitute archetypes, then we will reject that. We will reject our own power because we don't want to take that personal responsibility. Gosh, we're going far and wide, but you are obviously all ready for this. Otherwise, I would not be sharing it with you. And this is intuitive intelligence. I don't sit here and say, I'm going to tell you everything that I want to tell you. I open to that infinite communion and I let that infinite consciousness guide me. I know that I've made a commitment to you to talk about the uncompromising path of intuitive intelligence. But other than that, I am in a flow state with that intuitive intelligence, and it is guiding me. Okay, I don't stop and I say, okay, I'm just going to pick up my pendulum now. I'm going to ask a question. Should I talk about this? Oh, okay. Oh, it says yes. Pendulum says yes, everybody. Okay. In the same way, I don't say, oh, hold on, I'm just getting a download. Okay, what I can hear is that what we should all be doing now, okay, these are all redundancies. These are falsehoods. This is not intuition. This is you putting a block between you and the truth that you are one with the one mind. And therefore, it's not I'm going out there or I'm getting in here. It's I am. I am my intuition. I am that. It is never about putting this idea that you're hearing something or getting something. Yes, your dominant Claire will be the way that you receive, and for me that is a felt sense, and we'll talk about that another day. But what I want you to understand is when people start talking in this idea that something is coming into them from outside of them, they've missed the point. The point is this infinite one mind is everywhere and everything all at once, and we are part of it. We are one with the one mind. We are never going anywhere outside of ourselves to receive our intuition, not to a higher consciousness, not to a pendulum, not to a crystal, not to an oracle card. We are getting deeper within ourselves. This is power. This is sacred power. To recognize that we are one with that which we are seeking is the ultimate freedom. And it is also the ultimate responsibility. And there's nowhere to hide in that. And that's why it's uncompromising. And it requires you to be congruent. Because if you are breaking the laws, the immutable laws, if you're in trying to get away with thinking badly about yourself or being angry or being incongruent with the truth that I am that, then your intuition, that language, that bridge between you and infinite consciousness, which is you, will be shut down. Not really shut down, but your ego self will shut it down, because you can't marry the paradox. You can't exist inside of these two warring states. It doesn't work. You're breaking the law. So ultimately, where our intuitive intelligence takes us is into deep self-love, deep self-respect, deep self-care. And if we step out of that place, then we tend to find that I cannot hear my intuition anymore. Anyone say that? I'm not really feeling my intuition today. What that means is look where you're incongruent. Look around your life and go, okay, where have I broken the law? Where am I behaving outside of these cosmic laws and trying to get away with it? Where am I in hiding or in fear and in doubt and not willing to go and meet those things? So when I train you to awaken to your intuitive intelligence in the most powerful way, we are really going on a fear detox. We are going deep into your subconscious program, and we are rewiring you from the inside out, because you are already the most incredible intuitive on the planet. And the reason is because you are God consciousness. Ultimately, intuition becomes redundant completely, because when we remember what we are one with what we are. Why would we need a language? It is a flow state. It is a state of being. Intuition is a state of being that is on the other side of fear, and it is our birthright. And that is what I will teach you in the Initiate program. And that is what the amazing women who are taking up the mantle of the teacher training will teach you. And if you are anywhere near Ireland in the last week of September, come and hang out with me. I have 2 workshops, Ballina and Limerick. I think Ballina's on the west coast. I have no idea where Limerick is. I think it's about 2 hours away from there. I would be honored if you have people in that part of the world that you would share the information. I'm going to put the link in this post because it's a really big leap into the unknown to be taking this training to Ireland. I've been invited by an incredible woman called Annette Riley, who's being a huge advocate for me there. And I do have a priestess who's about to come into the next intake there. And I have some amazing sisters in the UK who are coming to support me, who are graduates of the 3rd level. But I would love to have as many incredible men and women who want to truly understand the true nature of intuitive intelligence. Let's lead the revolution in excellence in the intuitive sciences and stop accepting so much less than we are worth. You know, this is our birthright. There's so much misinformation about intuition, and I want to take you deep into the intuitive sciences to help you understand it. So please spread the word. If you feel like coming and having a retreat with me, come and hang out in Ireland with me. I think, you know, everybody in the Northern Hemisphere is eligible for this. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you're just a plane flight away, probably not a long plane flight away compared to what Australians have to travel to get to you. And let's go deep into our intuitive intelligence and lead this revolution together. Mwah. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this glorious Friday afternoon. Let me know your thoughts, your questions, your provocations, your agitations, how I may have pissed you off, or what you enjoyed about what I said. And let's keep the conversation going. So much love to you all.